What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry, I'm late. It's not gonna be a very long one anyway. But I was checking some news that was coming out as we speak, but nothing big, to be honest. Just the usual stuff. But it is what it is. I'm gonna talk about the game, and that's kind of about it. And then I will wrap it up really quickly. Maybe touch on the UEFA thing that came out today, and Giuntoli returning to Italy for the 10th time apparently, but this time it could be the right time that he actually returns to Italy to talk about or to deal with the transfer market, because apparently the club only found out today that we were not going to play in Europe, which is a bit hilarious because they knew uh, they just knew, because they probably would have talked to UEFA to get to this point about this ban. But it is what it is. Let's start off with the game, because I don't think a lot of people watch the game. I don't blame a lot of people for not watching that game. I don't like I don't expect people to wake up early in the morning to watch a preseason game coached by Allegri based on the previous years. Um, but I think my opinion, there have been uh, there have been some big development. There have some. Damn it! I was looking at the news because the news popped up from Sky saying that now we're not in the Conference League. We actually need to sell one of Vlahovic or Chiesa, which is hilarious because that was always the case, because the Conference League money is nothing. Like, it is what it is. Uh, so don't panic about that. It's the same thing. But I think there have been some what do you say, like miss things that got misunderstood based on today's game. It was today for me because I did a daily, or not a daily, I did a match reaction just straight after the game, and I was away. I slept like 3 hours. I didn't say it was an amazing game, this looks great. I never said that. I said individual players, some individual players, kind of not impressed, but like they looked sharp, and that was about it basically. Um, that's about it. I know that Allegri is a coach, so I need individual performances to spike at a very high level consistently throughout the season. And when I'm saying that, I'm looking at Chiesa, Vlahovic, or whoever the striker is going to be. I'm looking at that midfield, a Locatelli, maybe Fagioli. I'm looking at Bremer to put in those performances week in, week out, literally week in, week out, because that's what we're gonna need. Like the game thing, um, the game it hasn't changed. Now Sky Sport is also confirming Pellegrini to Milan almost. Um, the main thing from preseason, or from yesterday's game, even the Real Madrid game next week, no injuries. We had no injuries, and I want to see something. I wanted to see Rovella. Well, he's gone. He's injured. I wanted to say Weah, and we saw Weah. And Julian says Chiesa top, and Weah top, and flop McKennie and Keane. I will start off with the worst players because I don't really want to talk about, like, it's preseason. Like, I'm not. How do you want to say? Like, it's tough to say, oh, he's crap. But some players just confirm what I think about them as well. Locatelli, super inconsistent. He was terrible. Again, he wasn't good. He picks up a yellow card for so many stupid things. Like, he reminds me a little bit of Pjanic, where he always picks up a yellow card, and at times I'm like, you don't need to pick up a yellow card in that situation. That's Locatelli. McKennie, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I saw people saying Keane played well because he skipped past one player in that second half. He wasn't good. His first touch wasn't good. His link-up play with Chiesa was terrible. Then afterwards he says, I like to play with Chiesa. We create a lot, which was not true, or I haven't seen it. So he wasn't good as well. Like the usual suspects who weren't that good. But there were some takeaways, and again, it's individual brilliance. Chiesa looked sharp. Um, Chiesa looked kind of sharp. Alfredo Pedula is saying that there has been an offer from the Premier League for Junior of 80 million euros. The and the club wants 25 if an offer comes in. They value him at 25, but he adds to it that the club actually wants to keep Ealing Jr., which is a very weird story, but it is what it is. But other than that, he looked sharp. Like Chiesa looked ready to play. He looked eager. He looked like his old self in terms of the way he played, which is good. It's very good. It's good news, especially if he's gonna stay. I believe he's gonna stay because I don't see which team is gonna put in an offer for Chiesa at this point. You know, if you look at the top teams, Liverpool don't need him. Chelsea don't need him. Arsenal don't need him. The only team that could put an offer in at this moment in time is Newcastle. Maybe you can suggest, but they also signed some players, so I'm not sure. Alfredo Padula is saying that they will loan out Facundo Gonzalez, but I'm not so certain about that. I will touch on that later on. But at this moment in time, there's no offer for Chiesa. I don't know which team is gonna be PSG out of nowhere. Other than that, like it's very slim picking. So maybe Man City as they sold Riyad Mahrez. I don't think so. I don't believe Man City is gonna come in for Chiesa. I will be absolutely shocked. I don't think they need him. They have other issues to resolve, in my opinion. But they still have Foden. You know, they have Foden. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But he looked sharp. He looked ready. He looked eager to play, which is good because we haven't seen that for almost 2 years or like a year and a half. Let's say a year and a half because of injuries, and even last season, second part it wasn't that good because in and out the lineup and getting minutes here, playing there, playing as a second striker, playing as a wing back, like very difficult. But I thought he looked great, so that's a positive if he's gonna stay, obviously. Then the next one up is Wea. I think he looked sharp. He looked ready. I think the first 10 minutes he struggled. He got cooked a few times, but he picked up pace, I think, really quickly, which is good. He has a good cross on him. He's quick. I kind of am disappointed that when we as Allegri didn't really ask him to do that much in possession on the ball, because I think he can offer more. I think he can offer more in possession because I think he's actually not. We've seen it, like he has decent feet. I think his issue is maybe he's inconsistent. That's probably his issue. But in possession, I think he's good enough. Also, Padula is saying Premier League clubs are looking at the winter, but Genoa already accepted to sign him on loan with an obligation to buy. Apparently, so that's that. But Weah looked good, looked promising, in my opinion. Keep in mind, Milan already played a preseason game, and that starting 11 from Milan was almost their starting 11 for the first game of the season. Ours wasn't, I guess. I don't think Keane is gonna start. It's gonna be Lukaku or Vlahovic. I don't think Miretti is gonna start. I don't think Cambiasso is gonna start. Whatever. So it was the first game, and I thought he did decent. I thought he played a good game. Where other than that, not much to say about that game. Like standout players, which is okay. Second half was kind of pointless. It wasn't good. We made a lot of subs. They made a lot of subs. I was just looking forward to see Huijsen play, who I thought was good. I thought he was very good. He is extremely calm on the ball in areas where probably a lot of players would panic. He's good in possession. He needs to bulk up a little bit, but that's normal. I think Sule, he has good moments and he switches that with very weird moments. Nonge struggled, but it's his first game between, you want to say big boys, but he kind of struggled. What was significant is that the Winter and Barnechea didn't play. They're fit, they're gone. Like that's why they didn't play. It's very close that those players are gonna leave. Now apparently it's Genoa. Let's see. It could be, I don't know. It could be someone else. Barnechea. Uh, Let me see. Barnechea, let him go because he's not good. He's not good at all. Like it's nothing special. Like he can be a very decent, standard Serie A player, and that's about it. You know, mid-table team. Okay, fine. Other than that, you need to let him go. The Winter, if you let him go, somehow get a buyback option in there, because I still think he can be a good option in the future. But they're gone. Like they didn't play, especially the Winter, so he's gone. So that's that. Now, the news today that came out, no Europe. Um, and I saw the videos and I saw Giuntoli on the sideline, and apparently the club knew they were not gonna play in Europe. Like they knew. Like we knew, like we all knew. The media knew. The club knew they were not gonna play in Europe. It's now just officially, and now it's getting players out of the club. It is what it is. Like Miretti, they will probably be like you don't need 2 to 3 players in every position. You know, you play once a week. You know, it's pointless because not everybody is gonna play. Like you shouldn't rotate. You play once a week. You should not rotate as much as you did last. If Allegri still rotates as much as he did last season, he's a madman because you play once a week. You don't need to have a big squad. That kind of calls for questions because if you have Lukaku slash Vlahovic, Keane, and Milik, that's a lot, you know. And even if you sell Chiesa, that's terrible because they're all strikers, so that's not good as well. But Miretti's not going to play. Like, look at that midfield. Even signing Cassia makes very little sense at this moment in time. If we play once a week, let's say every month, twice a week, because there was a Coppa Italia game, or we play midweek Serie A game, not everybody's gonna play, so it's pointless to have 7 midfielders in that squad. Like, if Miretti's not your first choice, send him out on loan and let him play. You know, you already have Rabiot, you have Locatelli, you have Rovella, you have probably Pogba, whatever, because he's not gonna leave. At one point, he will be fit, I guess. Those Cassie rumors now make very little sense unless somebody is being sold, and it's not Miretti, but somebody of the real players, quote unquote, like who are here to stay, basically, is gonna leave. You know, 5 center backs is enough. Yeah, the issue is we have crap. We have a crap backline. Like that is the issue, not the amount of players. Maybe like we have too many bad players, but you have Junior, you have Kostic, but Cambiasso played on the left. He played on the left against. Um, he can play. He played on the left yesterday, which was a bit strange because he was rumored to play on the right, you know. And now we're linked to Augusto as well. Your Sandro in the squad. I think it's too much. Like the rumors are not making sense. Like players need to leave. And why sign an Augusto when you already have those players? Like it's pointless to me as well. But that's actually happening. I wanted to see Cambias on the right. We haven't seen that, so I don't know if he can play on the right. If he's gonna be good on the right hand side. But you don't have a play, like you only have Weah basically. You need somebody else there as well because the Shilio is done. Like he's done. Like I don't really care about that. It's pointless. So you need to do something in that position as well. But center backs, you have Rugani, you have Gatti, you have Bremer. But if somebody's in and you have Danilo, you have players number wise, but like actually talent and good enough. I mean, it's it is what it is, I guess. But the striker one is strange because you play once a week and you're gonna have 3 strikers plus Chiesa. Like that's very strange in my opinion, but it is what it is. Like the club will get trimmed, the squad will get trimmed. Maybe also that's not good news for players like Hoyson and Nonge getting real minutes because you know you're not playing that much. Sell Keane for 20 mil. If you can tell me who's gonna buy Keane, then you find the solution. You have the solution, but nobody's gonna buy Keane. Like if they watch yesterday as well, like nobody. Last season, I couldn't like he had 2, 3 good games. One was away to Sevilla, and that's it. Sell Milik. We shouldn't have signed Milik back. Basically, I don't know who's gonna sign Milik now, and the club is probably not gonna sell him. Like that would be very strange behavior. Um, but it's too much. Like it's too much. You have too many strikers, and like Chiesa is the only player that's kind of different, like real different to the other three. And if you play once a week, it's a lot. Like it's too much. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Also, because that news came out from Sky like a minute ago, not playing the Conference League. Now we actually like selling one of Chiesa or Vlahovic is a must. They're using that news to get fans triggered. We knew that in June, and apparently the club didn't know they were not going to play Conference League. They knew whatever. The money you're making into a Conference League is the equivalent to playing the group stage of the Champions League. We need millions to make up for. Not 10, not 20, not 30, plus 40. That's not Conference League money. I don't know what people think. I don't know what the media is trying to put out there. Very strange. And I saw the news came out and people say, oh, now we're going to sell everybody. Juntuli said everybody is for sale. The Conference League was not going to change. Getting 9 million euros out of the Conference League was not going to balance out the books. So that's not going to change. Nothing absolutely changed. Absolutely nothing changed. The only thing that changed officially is the squad will be slimmer. Like we won't have a big squad. That's the only thing that actually has changed. What I do want to add is 1 game a week. A coach making 9 million a season, he better gets it done in a very convincing manner. Not scraping top 4 or whatever. Not losing double digit. Like if he loses this season double digit or close to double digit games, then what are we doing? Like, let's be completely honest. I don't know how many games you lost in Serie A last season. 10, 11. Like you play once a week. Every other team plays midweek games almost every week up until January. And post-January, some of those teams are still playing midweek games. So there are no excuses. It's get it done this season easily, calm. Like Nico Bellic is putting out things again. Like it's very reactionary, and we were always going to sell these players. Let me see what he's saying. Yeah, Nico Bellic is saying the club's trying to loan out the Winter, Miretti, or Cambiasso, one of the two. Yeah, we just need to wait and see. Like we just need to wait and see. It's a very confusing situation because again, like it's August. When is August? Is it Monday? Is it 1st of August? Right? Oh no, Tuesday. We play in 3 weeks time basically, and the squad is not ready. Like it's not ready. Even the players are injured. It's crazy, and there's so many question marks. Keane, Vlahovic, Bremer, whatever. Who's gonna be loaned out? Other players coming in. McKennie playing, terrible football. He's on his way out. Zakaria, no idea what's happening there. Pellegrini, close to Milan, apparently, but he was close to Nice, he was close to Lazio, and it's July, and he's just close to the Continassa at this moment in time. That's the only thing he's close to. But very confusing. Like, somebody asked during the watch along, what is your prediction? And I I cannot make a prediction. Like, I don't think I can make a prediction even on the 20th of August, because I don't believe that squad will be fixed at and with fixed I mean done. No incoming transfers, no outgoing transfers, because with the pace everything is moving, it will probably go into the final days of the market when things will still be shifted. So not ideal at all, but it's up to Allegri to make it work at this moment in time. One game a week, it is what it is. Our best hope for next season is a top 4 finish, because he has lost the confidence of the dressing room. He needs to make top 4. If we don't make top 4 next season and get into the Champions League, we're absolutely screwed. Like, we are absolutely screwed. So he better in January be very at ease in that top 4, where you're like, yeah, we're just gonna cruise through it. That needs to be the situation. Like, if he comes in January and he already lost 5 to 6 games in Serie A, you better sack him, because that's not looking good, and you're probably not going anywhere unless you have a season like last season, and then they're not going to sack him, and you have Lazio and Inter also losing close to double-digit figures. Then they're not going to sack him. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, Hoyser was good. He was good. He got criticized after on social media, and I have no idea why. Like, I have absolutely no idea why. Because he looked very good. He looked... he looked like he belonged there. Yes, he needs to bulk up, but I think that's normal, coming from the under-19s base, basically. And playing a few games with under-23s, that's always going to be the case. But he's very good in possession, so let's see how that will develop. I'm going to wrap it up, because I started very late. I did a match reaction. I did a watch-along. I just want to recap it a little bit. I mentioned the updates from Pedula. Romeo Agressi said that Giuntoli will travel back tomorrow to Italy and then maybe travel to London. Could be for Zakaria to West Ham. Who knows? Could be for Lukaku and Chelsea. I don't know. Could be Vlahovic meeting. I have no idea. It could be Chiesa meeting with Newcastle. I have no idea. But let's see how that will go. Probably Monday, that news will start to, build up a little bit. If he returns tomorrow, it will be probably on Monday. So we will be back on Monday to discuss those latest updates. I'll be surprised if there's any big news. And with big news, I mean like big time, not the winter leaving on loan, whatever. That's not really big news. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, go watch the daily. I'll put out a daily tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a good weekend, everybody. See you on Sunday.